Well, hello there, everybody. My name is Brent, and welcome to my Challenge 2 video. Here we are tasked for creating a music album cover. So let's just dive right in using some of the new techniques that we learned with some of the things that we've already covered. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new file. This one, I believe it was supposed to be a 2000 by 3000. Oops, there you go. Image. So we'll go ahead and click OK. And here is our beginning canvas. Okay, now for this theme, I thought about playing off of, something that we've probably heard. It's called The Dark Side of the Moon. So I thought, what better way than to do a Star Wars theme? So let's begin, shall we? So we're going to open it up, and here's in my folder for Challenge 2. I've already compiled a whole bunch of images. So let's go ahead and start thinking of how to build this. Well, for one, we're going to need some stars. So let's open up some of these star pictures. I like that. That looks like a good starry background. So let's go ahead and duplicate that. So let's take our cursor over here, and we'll slide down to this icon down here at the bottom, which will duplicate our background like so. From here we can use our move tool in the top left hand corner and just drag it on over to this. Now I want to make sure that this image resolution stays intact as I adjust it. But at the same point in time, I want to make sure that this feature, snap, is clicked on and checked, so that way it makes things aligning to the sides much easier. If my computer was apparently, there we go. So as you can see, you have it, and then it just sort of clicks just like that. So that definitely helps. But to help with the resolution through the adjustments, I'm going to come down here to the actual layer itself, and I'm going to right click on it if I can. Oh, it's because I had already made an adjustment, so I needed to accept it. So what I want to do is convert to smart object. This will help keep the resolution when I adjust it. Now you'll notice when I also go to adjust, now I'll have this big X through it, which is what I am looking for. So let me go and just make this bigger, 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 bigger. Ta-da. Hit enter to lock it in, and there is our starry sky. So if we wanted to, we could even condense it some more, so it's literally just all condensed in here. Didn't need to really even extend it, but there we go. Okay, so now I got a background. So what else do I have here? So Dark Side of the Moon means you got some moon pictures. So let's see, what can we do with moon pictures? How about we'll open up this picture. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so I like this outer glow. There's like a hue that's around this image. So I'm going to want to select that. So back to our tools. I want to make sure quick selection tool. Remember, you have to long click on these objects in order to go ahead and bring up the submenus. So quick selection tool, and let's start highlighting. Da-da. There we go. So I want all of that. Oh, and as you can see, there's a little bit down here that needs to be filled in as well. Let me go ahead and zoom in on that. Okay, that'll be good enough for what we need. Let me zoom out real quick, make sure everything is selected in here that needs to be. But now I also want this hue. So I need to make sure that I include this. But as you can see, oh, see how I went ahead and did all of that? I need to trim some of this away. There we go. That was a bit too much trimming. Let's try that again. I hate how these tools can be so fidgety sometimes. You know what? I'm just going to go with that, and I'm just going to add on from there. There we go. Okay. There we go. Bring that out just a hair more. Bring this up just a hair more. Just a little more. You know what? I think that looks good. That works for what we need. Let me trim this little corner here. Alright, so with this all highlighted, I'm going to right click on the mouse. I'm going to choose layer via copy, which is you're going to see if I select the move tool, has now created an image that I can move, a layered image. If this computer would do that, there we go. So as you can see, there's our new image. Okay, so now let's take it, if we can, oh, wait a minute, I want to make sure that I get the distortion right. So, or not the distortion, the resolution. Don't want that distorting. Convert to smart object. Okay, wonderful. Now, let's see what else do we have here. Let's go to open. Can't miss out on you. Ta-da! Now we get to select all this stuff again. Wonderful. as you can see from my incredibly slow work, I am trying to make sure that everything is selected that needs to be not selected, that isn't. So come on, there you go. Nice and refined. Whoops, a bit too much. Let's make sure that works. Wonderful. Almost done. That works. Almost there. Okay, after a long, hard fight, I think we are all in business. For what we need, that looks perfect. So now we right click, layer via copy, and this should create a image. Now, as you can see from the lines that we can move, and yay. So now let's put this here, and we will once again convert to smart object. So there we go with that. Okay, but now obviously this stands out and everything, so let's try to make this opacity a little different. Okay. But now we have a problem, because as you can see, if I bring this all the way back up, see how this area looks very bright, this area looks very dark, and then if this area looks very bright on the right, but this side looks very dark. So what do you think? Should we flip it I think so. Let's flip this thing. So let's just take it and flip it. Flip it good. Now, if I adjust it a little bit more. Now the darkness should be on the correct side. I like that. So you can still see the moon, still see the Death Star and everything. So that works. Okay. So now let's keep adding. Okay, so let's open up a new picture. Let's do this one. Okay. You gotta have Darth Vader, of course. So I'll make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so wait for it to catch up. There we go. Very small adjustments. Okay. So just like before, now that everything is selected, right click, layer via copy. Ta-da! Now we're going to take this and try to, at least, there we go, try to move this layer into here. And what do? We convert it to a smart object. Why do we do that? Because I've already told you. I know that's not really a good answer, but I mean, so there we go. Now let's do a little sort of play on this. So let's take this and we're going to duplicate this layer. Layer 3 copy. You can name your layers whatever you want. For instance, if I were to label this one, I would probably name it Darth Vader's Mask. Naming principles are good practices, even though I just showed you that I don't follow them. Yeah, let's move on. So there we go. Ta-da, look at that. But now it's sort of like sitting on top of all of this. I don't want that. So let's take these and throw it behind that. Oh, that looks better. Okay. That looks better. Speaking of which, let's link these. So that way if we move one, we move them both so they look fine. But also, I want to link this one and this one. Or I'm sorry, not that one. I want to link that one and that one. And the reason why I want to link layers 1 and 2 is so I can similarly keep the proportions the same and everything. So if I need to move this down or around, I can. I'm kind of regretting taking this. So let me actually go back into that image. I have that here. Here I'm going to delete that image and I'm going to reselect this minus the glow. So the glow won't be around. There's some areas here that need to be touched up. That works. That works for us. So now what we're going to do, we're going to recopy. And I'm going to, since these are linked, I have to unlink them. And it always helps before you delete. I like to turn layers on and off using the little eye symbol here. That way you kind of know what you're going to delete at first. So I know that's the one I want to delete, so we'll delete you. And now we got this new guy, and we'll bring him over to here. Now before we adjust it, what do? Convert to smart object. There you go. Everything gets snapped. Let me zoom in to make sure that I get the alignment correctly. Just like so. Okay. So now if we look, looks a lot more natural. Looks a lot more natural without all that haze, fuzzy stuff there. So that, I like the look of that. If we go into even more, we can see how the edges line. Wonderful. Whoa. Hey there. Hey now. Okay, so now we've got all of that done. So let's continue on. We need some more stuff. What stuff do we need? Let's have fun with Darth Vader a little bit. So there you go. Here's a screenshot that I'll go and actually for this, since our image here is in black and white, having color would create sort of a standout image. So let's try something. Why don't we try this? Let's try highlighting all of this with our tool. Yes, we'll even get the hair, because we have to have hair. Actually, I'm gonna... There we go. Alright, so now we will layer a copy. He's more machine now than man, twisted and evil. So now, yay, now it's imported. Let's convert this to a smart object. Sorry for all the pauses in the chatter. I am just trying to make sure that I get everything lined up where I want. Now that sticks out like a sore thumb, so let's take the opacity down. Let's take it down to 50%. So we've got that sort of haunting image. But that needs to be tucked in as well behind that. That works. Now let's go back and instead of just copying it over, kind of like how what we did here, and we just flipped it sides, let's have a little bit more fun with this. So, where were we here? Okay. I'm actually going to delete that layer, so now we're just back to the regular background. And I'm going to just copy this one for right now. And I'm going to turn this image black and white. So I'm going to go up to Image and Adjustments, black and white. Alt, Shift, Control, and B is the shortcut for that. And here you can play with your different presets in terms of your color values for it. I'm just going to use what they have for me here. And I'm going to get my selector tool and do this all over again. Just like so. I'm not even going to worry about the hair this time. There we go. There we go. Copy. I'll go to the move tool. Now we're going to go up here. Oh, but as you can see, now we're going to create or convert to smart object. Ta-da! Stretchy. Now one of the things that I do like to do is get the corner lined up here, because with this layer here I can drag this down to match it. So now to make sure that I have the properties correctly, this layer's opacity, this guy over here, his opacity is at 50%. So I need to make this one match. So bring this one down to 50%. And there you go. But looking at this, there's something kind of missing. Whenever somebody goes over to the dark side, their eyes change color. So let's get back to that. So if we really zoom in on this, let's grab our selector tool and let's take this guy all the way down. Do 3 pixels. The cursor looks big, but that's only because I'm at 471% magnification. So let's just highlight that. Hopefully. Okay, now I'm even going to 3, seems really big. I'm going to take this actually down to 1 to fine tune it. Okay. So there's that. So let's do yellow. Fill that in. And then we will do the select tool again for here. There. Now I will take the paint bucket again. This time I'm going to switch up colors. There. Alright. So now if I go and zoom out, we will see that the eyes are there. So now let's take it. Gotta make sure. Convert to smart object. And flip it. Now, this opacity, bring this back down. Pardon me. To 50%. Delete this layer, considering it's the same thing. So now, if we look, you can see that the eye stands out. Sort of before and after. Now, let's move on. So, okay, let's see how this works. Let me go ahead and select him. I need to make this a little bigger. Oh, gotta get that finger. Okay, for our purposes, that seems pretty good. So we're going to make this a layer via copy. Wait a minute. Okay, let's undo this real quick. Go to image, we're going to adjust this real quick, shift this to black and white, use the default preset that they give. Now we're going to layer view the copy. We're going to take this new layer, and we're going to put that guy right there. Now we're going to make him a smart object as opposed to a dumb one. But as you can see, this layer right here is interfering with it, so I need to move this up one. The heck is an aluminum falcon? And the reason why I'm stretching down here is because I want to essentially pull from the bottom and reinstitute this, make this look more natural rather than protruding upwards into here. So you can see the adjustments when they're made over here on the right hand side. So that way it makes it look a little bit more natural. Now we will take, I have to transform that. So we're going to take these two layers, we're going to link these. Move that. I'm actually going to move him up just a bit. That's good. Okay. Looking pretty good so far. Is there anything else we can do? Let's see. Got these. Let's see if I can turn this thing red. Let me select it again. Anytime now. There you go. Oops. Such a tiny thing. Oh. Now I know what you're saying right now. You said with all that talk and everything about making sure that the light side of the moon was on the one side and the dark side was on the other to make it look more balanced. And then you're probably saying to yourself, well, you just completely changed all of that because now you're illuminating the wrong side. Well, that's why we have the rotation feature. So, as you may recall, when you adjust these things, you can pull on them from these little points on the sides and on the corners. But as I said in the last video, you can actually rotate them by actually grabbing it on the corner and rotating it. Okay. As you can see from all the little jaggies and whatnot, then it looks a little rough. So we are going to address that. Now let's take the opacity of this down as well. There we go. Okay, that looks good. So now we need it. We've done a lot with the layers, as you can see. We got a whole bunch of them right here. So what else do we need? Well, we need a title, right? I mean, this is an music album cover. It's got to have a title. All right, so let's go to the type. And I have my type set at 200, so it kind of stands out. Let's see how this works. What should we call this? That's okay. Of course, it would have to do this. There we go. That's what? Okay. I don't know why that's now doing that. For some reason, my O's won't show up in that font. So there's a workaround it. I'll show you how to do that. I just stumbled upon it from just complete luck. So let's say we use this font. So we say that's no moon. That's no moon. Dark side of the moon. Okay. Now, as you can see, the opacity is 50% of this layer, so let me go ahead and switch that to 100, but as you can see, it's behind the other layers. So if I switch it up, see how it just pops out because it's no longer being hidden underneath that faded layer. So, okay, so we got the dark side of the moon, but this isn't the font that I wanted. And so the workaround is find a font that works, highlight it all, as you can see here, click. Don't hit the drop down menu. Just click. See how it's highlighted here? Then use your down arrow keys or up arrow keys to go through what you want. And as you can see at the top left corner, everything is starting to change. Okay, so that, I guess that wasn't a workaround. I got it to work before, but oh well. We shall just use that. As you can see, it also changes it up over here. The dark side of the moon. Okay, so as you can see, we've got a whole bunch of text layers, grouped layers, or layers that are linked, and everything. Smart objects as far as the eye can see. Copies of layers and backgrounds. Plus, we went ahead and did selection tools with fill-ins, adjusted opacities, zoomed in to line things up to make things look a little bit more natural. And there you go. So that is our, let me go ahead and move this out. That is what it, oops. There we go. It's essentially what it looks like. Alright, so let me go ahead and we will save this. We will call this Challenge 2 Photoshop file. And we will save this as a JPEG. We call this Challenge 2. Ta-da! There you go. So now that we have all of that, we can go ahead and close down all of these files. No, I don't need to save changes. No, don't need to save changes. I don't save these changes, as you can see here. The reason why I don't save these changes is because should I want to go back ever and alter or create something else, I have the same baseline that I started with. So that's always a good thing that I always paid attention to. Don't need you. Nope. Don't need you. Close. Don't need you. Close. And you either. Done. And now that it's all saved and we've got everything, you can see all the layers and everything, we can go ahead and close this as well. So thank you everybody for coming out. And I'm sorry this is a bit lengthy of a video, but hopefully you learned a bit. And yeah, have yourself a great weekend.